nerds! Welcome back. It's Tiri, and I'm here with some Blizzard news. But first, those that are interested in my guild, Relentless Dawn, and our progress in Mists of Pandaria so far, we have been able to go in and work on the first boss in Mogu'shan Vaults, so that's good. Almost everyone had a rated with the guild. We had a couple people that were just above what they needed to be to queue for heroic 5-man dungeons. So we were like, not really sure, and I was like, you know what? Yeah. So we went in, and we did way better than I thought we would. I thought, well, if we bring in 3 healers, we'll get a chance to see the mechanics, and everybody will kind of get that feel of raiding again and be like, man, I need to work on my main, and we can raid. So we went in and we got them about 60% was our best pull. We only were in there for a couple of hours, but we had really undergeared people. And they actually did really well, considering for the gear they had. I was very pleasantly surprised. Everybody's doing really good with their tunes, and our numbers were looking really good. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. In a week or two, you know, when we have more gear, hopefully we'll be able to get the stone guards down. If you don't know the fight, I'm not going to explain it in this video. When we actually kill it, I might do a video about it. But for now, I like Fatboss guides personally because they're funny and they just have fun and I like it, but they're still professional and they still get shit done, and that's cool. Check out Fatboss. Mogu'shan Vaults, Stone Guards, 10-man normal. Pretty good explanation. As some of you know from previous videos, I'm doing a little bit of experimentation with uploading my videos. Each time I do something different to try to figure out why they're not uploading in HD. Also, I just got a new camera, and ever since then, I'm using a Yeti microphone. Well, not right now. This is what I normally record on. Awesome microphone, right? Okay, so now this video I'm actually using my webcam microphone to see if it will solve the problem. I've had lag issues with my sound. I go and get my video into my editor and, you know, emit it into my video. All of a sudden it looks like a bad dubbed movie. You guys might have caught 1 or 2 times where I actually missed fixing it in little parts. But it makes editing a huge headache, so I hope this sound comes out good. But yeah, so bear with me while I experiment and figure out the HD and the video lag issues. So on to Blizzard news. Patch 5.1 is coming soon, and we will be able to continue on the faction quest line. The quest to defeat the other faction, the battle for Pandaria. And I think that's pretty cool. They're going to add in, there's so many dailies. I've heard so many complaints and so many comments about how there's so many dailies right now. Refer back to that faction guide and find the ones that are important for you. For me, it was Golden Lotus, and then to be able to quest for Shadowpan and August Celestials once you get revered with Golden Lotus. The Claxi was important for me because I got super awesome pants, and they also have bracers that I want. There's gear on those 4 and patterns and stuff like that. So just look at the guide and see what patterns and gear are on what factions and work on those right now. If you want to get gear and patterns before you want to get mounts, set aside the Cloud Serpents. I know the mounts are cool. Set aside the Anglers because that's just fun stuff. And work on Golden Lotus and the Claxi, and then so that you can also work on the Shadowpan and the August Celestials. Those 4 are most important in my opinion right now. In patch 5.1, you'll be able to go to the main city for your faction and obtain the quest to call in the fleets. Then you'll be going into Crestering Woods and doing the quests there. Patch 5.1 is playable right now on the public test realm, so if you want to check that out and get a head start, I'm going to wait until it comes out because I'm too busy with doing dailies and working on reading. So there's that. I will link in the description the patch notes so you can see what's going on and what's to come. So you guys can check out what's going on with your class and what's going on with Pandaria and the story and the quests. Then there's the pet battles, the dungeon changes, and the Brawlers Guild. all that good stuff. I talked about Brawlers Guild in a previous video, so go to the link and check it out. If you're keeping up on the quest for Pandaria with Lily and Chen Stormstout, the 3rd chapter is up for reading if you go to the World of Warcraft website. There's also a few more books coming out soon. The first one that should be released in November is Diablo 3, Heroes Rise, Darkness Falls. That should be interesting. As most of you know, I love pretty much all Blizzard games. I don't play them all right now, but I definitely haven't ruled out playing Diablo, and I would like to play StarCraft 3, but I haven't ever. If it ever becomes free to play, that has been discussed. Hopefully that's going to happen. It's in the works of possibly being able to play StarCraft 3 free to play. And there's 3 other World of Warcraft books coming out: Shadows of the Horde and Dawn of the Aspects. The 3rd one is an art book. They're inviting artists from all over the world to submit their art to be featured in the book. I think that is so awesome. Really excited about that. It makes me wish I was an artist. Challenge modes. I don't know how many of you have tried challenge modes, but we tried them one night, and yeah, it was pretty hard. We went into the Scarlet Halls, and it took us a couple times to get the food throwing thing down, because in my opinion, at least we will pretty much have to do that in order to get past the dogs effectively and quickly. At least for gold, I'm pretty sure that's got to be required, to throw the buckets of food at the people, and then the dogs eat them and they die, and then you run by while they're passed out because they gorge themselves. We were only getting to like the first boss. Heroics were so easy, we decided to try it. We could have kept going and gone for like bronze or silver, but honestly I'd like to have a better shot at gold before I invest the time in it. The thing that kind of sucks about it right now is that your main cooldowns do not get reset when you reset the instance. That is to come. They're going to make it so that any cooldowns over 5 minutes will reset when you reset the challenge modes. The cool thing about it though is that there's no repairs required. There's no gear damage at all when you wipe in the challenge modes. So I thought that was really cool. I remember I was like, let's go down and put up our traveler's mount and repair, and then I looked and I'm like, my gear's fine. Yes, it's awesome. So awesome. The challenge modes are fun, but after going into Mogu'shan vaults last night and working on stone guards, I seriously feel like we will be capable of getting the stone guards down before we can complete a challenge mode. I know that sounds weird. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think challenge modes are harder than 10-man Mogu'shan regular? Or do you think that the raid is harder than the challenge modes? I'm curious. Those of you that have completed or gotten close to completing either, let me know in the comments, or give me a response video about what you think about that. As usual, I'll be putting the hotfixes since my last video in the description below if you'd like to check those out. My favorite holiday in the world, Halloween. Hallow's End is here, and you can go and do the quests and achievements. You've got the trick-or-treating you can do for the achievement and get all the random little masks and fun stuff, and then get the pumpkins at all the different inns. You can do the quests, put out the fires in all the little towns outside of the main cities. It's pretty much done the same. The Headless Horseman difficulty was scaled up, so he's a little bit harder. It's not, I did it and it wasn't hard, but it wasn't like raffle stomped, you're dead either. It was, I mean, it took a little more time to get him down. And I think they hit a little harder. I didn't really ask the healer. Pretty sure he didn't have a hard time. He's doing really good. By the way, our new monk healer, good job, Winry. Really good job. He got himself all ready to go. The rings and the, oh, squirrel. No, seriously, there's a squirrel outside running along my road. There are the rings and the helm that you can get from the Headless Horseman. Diablo 3 patch 1.0.5 has been released a few days ago, October 16th, I believe. They've added a few new things to the game. Similar to Players X and Diablo 2, you can actually control the scale of the mobs that you're fighting. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but it's whatever. The stuff that you can get from them is scaled as well, so you know, you can make a certain area of mobs be way harder. And if you can defeat them, more power to you, you get better shit off of them. Cool. Now I'm wondering, can you make them super easy and then get to the end of the act and then move on to the next act and just like power level yourself that way? The thing that I would say would obstruct that from being a doable thing is that your experience you get also scales depending on the difficulties you make the mobs. So there's that. You might have to do the act a couple times if you make them easy enough, so I wouldn't recommend it. Who wants the game to be too easy anyways? I know there's people out there, but I'd rather the game be a challenge. I know there were times when I first started playing Diablo, there were many curses because I was a wizard and I hadn't really like made my armors and like defensive things a priority, and I didn't, you know, before I realized that that was important as a wizard when you're soloing. Oh boy, I died a lot. Also, I had to sacrifice some intel for health, and it was hard for me to do, but once I did that, I was able to actually kind of solo. So I like it better. I like have like really high intel set that I can put on when I'm running with other people, and that way I'm doing more damage, and I have a little bit of them, you know, more people to protect me a little bit. I got my barbarians around, my witch doctors with a billion pets that I'm always trying to attack. Mob scaling, difficulty scaling brings a huge diversity to the game. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Let me know what you think of it in the comments, those that have played since the new patch. They made quite a few changes to the auction house interface. They also made it so that when you're switching between gold and real money auction house, your search parameters will be saved. So you don't have to worry about that when you're toggling back and forth and you have to type everything in again. You don't have to just do add friends via battle tag anymore in Diablo. You can do the real ID that's already been implemented into World of Warcraft. So it's a lot less limited and you can find your friends easier. Level 60 players will now be able to create what's called an infernal machine. And with this machine, once crafted, you can open portals that will contain uber versions of bosses doubled. So it'll be way more challenging and you can get way better loot off of them. So imagine the hardest boss that you've fought, super powered, and two of them at once. It's almost the equivalent to me of like challenge modes, only that's like challenge modes in World of Warcraft, that's speed. But the extent to which I feel that this has been amplified and will be harder for players to do, I feel like it's pretty equal. I haven't done it yet. If anybody's done this, let me know. Tell me what you have found about the infernal machine and the bosses that you encountered while using it. I'll put patch 1.0.5 notes for Diablo 3 in the description so you can check it out for yourself. I've only covered a few of the highlights that I thought were interesting. Also, if you haven't seen the music video, What's Your Luckydo by Wowcrendor, can tell he worked really hard on it. It's hilarious. So you should check that out. I'm going to put an annotation to his video. I love his videos because he adds a lot of humor and he's fun to listen to. Has a lot of good stuff to say. I missed you guys when I did my in-game video this last week. I felt like I was neglecting you. I felt like it was a cop-out. Honestly, though, I just want to add in some in-game stuff, and I'm going to try to do that in between and still do my news videos. So that is my video for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments if you liked or disliked this video and why. And subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to see you back, and I will talk to you guys next time. All right, love you all. Bye.